Hey, good afternoon. It's Clayton bringing it to you. Holmes. Just wanted to try to introduce myself. I thought that I wanted to try to build a channel a while back when watching a couple other uh, channel channel owners. Uh, don't get me wrong. It's a process. I mean, you're putting time into it, into a channel to put your message out there. And in this economy, you gotta do what you can to survive. I see a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people that have kind of given up, are trying to just survive, being okay with the status quo, and that's not okay. I've got a lot of reason to do my best, because I've got family that I've lost recently when I was just younger, that were giving it their all, and unfortunately they were taken from us all too soon. Talk about that a little bit later on, but nonetheless, I'm 45. Like I said, I'm a father. I was a father long before I knew what being a father meant. And so, I do have 12 kids. Yeah, no, you heard me right, 12 kids. And with that, I have a reason to put a message out there, not only to try to reach the youth, not only to try to reach out and be able to have a place for my kids to reach out to me if they so choose to do so, but just to, I feel, it's been put in my heart to not be silent, not to use my voice, not to let my voice be quenched, because I think it's going to be too hard. When I was a lot younger, growing up, I used to think I had a voice that was charismatic, and but I was going through a lot of stuff. It was a facade, is what I learned. And from that, I thank the Lord above for the growth, the opportunity, the life that I still have, to be able to let you know that it can be done. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort, but it takes effort to get to the point where you can live a little bit better than
in a quarter mile,
you
turn
thought
left
possible.
onto Southeast 122nd Avenue.
Sometimes it means doing whatever you got to do. I want to give thanks to the channels that encouraged me to even consider starting a channel. Pedro, DoorDash, Santiago, and there's a bunch of them that dealt
turn left onto Southeast 122nd
with the gig
Avenue.
economy, because that was definitely something that that's how I was able to get by. That's how I was able to get through another day. And even now, I've got a couple different things that I'm trying to do in my life, just to be able to make sure that I don't settle for the status quo, that I don't just do enough. I want to be the guy that does the best that I can do, that goes above and beyond. And so with that, that's why I'm trying to use my voice to bring you that message. Here in the Northwest, my city, Portland,
turn right onto
where I
Southeast
live, it's tough, man. There's a lot of people, and I do mean a lot of people that have absolutely given up, and I'm not one of those guys. You know, I want to make sure. I want to make sure that I'm giving it everything that I can to make sure I'm giving my kids everything that they deserve, the life that I never have. That's honestly, you know, the motivation for what I do, you know. You know, I watch a lot of people that have children that really want to do better for their children that aren't able to, simply because they've accepted their situation and they've just they've settled. And I don't want to. I'm not here to stigmatize anybody. I'm not here to try to, you know, pick on any particular person.
400 feet, 12,633 Southeast Boise Street, Portland, Oregon 97236. USA will be on the right.
But I have definitely learned that it's important to, you know, to do whatever you need to do. You know what I'm saying? To make sure you're living. You make sure you're living life to your fullest. That's the basis of my message, you know. Anyways, I've got my DoorDash app on, and if you guys will bear with me for a second, I'm going to hit this delivery real quick. But yeah, thank you, Lord, for that. You know, there's a lot of people that, like I was saying, have settled for the level of their situation, and you know, the key piece of that is they're living in depression. And man, I've battled depression since I was 13, 14 years old when my brother passed away, and it is no joke. Depression is a beast. It's, if you ask me, more severe, can be more painful, takes you to a darker place than drug addiction. And I can speak on that. You know, I'm thankfully coming up on a few years of recovery, and yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to take this time now and even try to use my voice as a reason to try to help encourage and educate other people. These intro videos, you know, they're some of the toughest. You know, they're the ones that will make you or break you, so they say. And I don't really want to have a theme of, you know, just doing the gig economy, or just you know, trying to do whatever it takes to skirt the system, because that's not any way, shape, or form what my message is. You know, my message is to try to live your life to the fullest, live every day as if though it's your last. You know, I am a believer of Jesus Christ. He is my Lord and Savior. I feel that through this channel, through the opportunity to speak to other people, I have an opportunity to deepen, strengthen my relationship with my Lord and Savior, and not through mainstream media, but through just not being silent, not letting other people suffer through things that I've been able to overcome by using this channel as a way to help them, to give people guides on how you can overcome. Just over 5 years ago now, I lived in an RV on the side of Marine Drive, which is just on the south side of the Portland, Vancouver. Just on the south side of the Portland, Vancouver border, right alongside the Columbia River. And I was definitely going through some things. I was the worst off I had ever been in my addiction. I was addicted to marijuana, anything, cocaine, mainly methamphetamines. And after getting hurt at work, I grew a opiate addiction that had me deathly addicted to heroin. I say deathly addicted because I overdosed probably more times than I can count, and I don't choose to try to. I don't want to use that as my crutch. There's no reason that anybody can't overcome any addiction, anything that's giving them motivation paralysis, anything that that keeps you stuck in a situation where you're not able to be just all that you can be. This is not an army. I'm definitely not trying to recruit for the army, but that slogan has so much meaning to me. I've lived a lot of really scandalous ways, and now that I've actually really tried to live clean, to be an example for my children, it's humbled me, and it's helped me wake up and realize that, man, anybody can, if they try. All you got to do is put one foot in front of the other, and wake up and give it some effort. And I see people out here every day, doing what they got to do to survive. I see door dashers that don't even necessarily have a car in their name, but they're figuring it out. That they're using rideshare bikes and Lime scooters to get off the streets. And I'm like that. I applaud that effort so much. My city has a lot of help that you can get if you are truly looking for a hand up. Sorry about my camera slipping. My phone mount doesn't necessarily look at me, and I want to be able to. I just want to be able to talk to you and let you know, that, like I said, life is hard. This economy right now is the toughest it's ever been. The gas price right now, soaring up close to $6 a gallon. Even with the car, you're like, how are you going to be able to put two and two together without a job, without everything else? No, I don't have a job right now that's a W-2. I'm actually doing I gambled on myself and took part in a real estate community that I will talk about in later videos. That's been honestly one of the best investments I've ever made in my life. I should have probably paid off some of my debts, but I didn't. I took a chance and got into a community of creative real estate investors that has been, it's been such a motivating experience that I would recommend for anybody to do it. And that's not the basis for my channel. The basis for my channel is, get up, get out of yourself, and do whatever you can do to try to
Drive west on Southeast Foster
live a
Road.
life that
Then
can
turn right onto Southeast
live a life
92nd
that can
Avenue.
give you everything you want. If you don't have things written down, if you don't have your goals written down, if you don't have so to speak, a vision board, you don't have to have a vision board, but you have to have goals
Turn right onto
to
Southeast
be able to
92nd
get
Avenue.
out of your current situation, so that you can build the steps necessary to evolve, to overcome the things that are holding you back to get there. I used to have a whole lot of that. I had so much motivation paralysis. It wasn't funny. The founder of my community has really opened my eyes in a lot of ways. Helping me recognize that I had analysis paralysis. I had
Continue for 1 mile.
A lot of different things that were just keeping me from taking action. And in the process of taking action, I realized that, man, the sky's the limit. There's not anything in this world that's outside of the reach of my grasp. And yeah, from door dashing to trying to be a creative investor. It doesn't matter what you want to invest in, be it cars, boats, houses, tools, collectibles. There's so many different things that you could actually buy with using creative finance. It's important to start small, but the biggest piece of the whole gambit is to have a community. You want to see your net worth, look at your network. That's a slogan that really resonates because it's true. I jumped into the community and I started. I got really narrowly focused on thinking I was just going to go jump into a fix and flip and yield some quick cash off of a little bit of money invested, hopefully, and with not only with some of my money, but hopefully with some partners' money, having people JV on the deal with me. And I learned that that's not really the way you should start out. If you don't knowledgeably know every step of the deal, slow your rolls. You can't eat an elephant in one fell swoop. So you can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. It might take you. It will likely take you weeks, if not months. Hopefully, you have a way to preserve it. And that's what's important. And I'm using that analogy in terms of learning creative finance. It has been I definitely have ADD. I think, I have a tendency to look something shiny, and in the process of that, uh, I I started, trying to do some of the courses throughout that the community offers, and I messed up by trying to do multiple courses at the same time with the same goal in mind, But I've learned to just pace myself, no pun intended, pace. But just to pace myself and do a little bit to get to one goal. So I've chosen to try to be a bird dog. Thankfully, I just found a guy that will let me search and find deals for him I found a group of individuals that has given me the ability to search for properties that are what he's looking for. He's looking for co-living properties, and what that means is take a house and turn it into take a for instance 4-bedroom house and turn it into 4 individual units where people might end up sharing a kitchen, possibly sharing a bathroom, but nonetheless with the right knowledge of how to get it done, you can turn a 4-bedroom house that might rent for 25 to, depending on the area you live in, $2,500 to $3,100, and then and maximize that the income that would come from that by renting out each room.
In a quarter mile,
for instance, $1,000 a room.
7266-1753. United States will be on the right.
And then there's you're able to have people or have another company that you hire to manage that house for you. So yeah, that's the line of work I'm studying. I've watched a lot of people. I know and have been part of a lot of people that have done traditional realty, and from that I've watched a lot of people lose their homes and end up getting into refinances that helped them in the moment, but they ended up losing everything, and that's not the way I wanted to do it. And I myself, just over a year ago was had an excellent job. I'm a commercial, licensed commercial driver, and was able to make enough money that I was on track to buy a home, which should have been, in the next coming 12 to 16 months. I have money in escrow for a down payment, but wasn't able to do that through losing my job. I had income paralysis that from getting hurt on the job that really messed me up bad. I didn't follow through and try to get workers' comp like I should have. So I just on to the next thing. I was able to thankfully do what I needed to do to recover from the injury, and I thank God above for that. just 1 minute. Let me run in here and grab this order. So yeah, you know, it's about starting small, and you know, like I said, being able to know where you want to go, to know what you want to do, setting goals so that you're able to build a framework to get there, you know, to get out of whatever it is that you're stuck in, whether it be, you know, not able to get a job. What do you need to do? What do you need to do to be able to get things in motion so that you can get to a W-2, and if it's getting out of a W-2 to level up, you know, setting goals to making sure that you're able to get up and over your situation. But if you don't have the goal, it's tough. But then secondly, if you don't have the framework and the community to be around you, to be supportive of you, you know, it becomes near impossible. And I say that, you know, just because I know what it is to be truly stuck. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, being stuck in a depressive situation can be debilitating. It can cost you a lot, and hopefully it doesn't end up costing you your life. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I will, you know, try to get into in more depth, but mostly I just wanted to get one of a series of introductory videos started on this channel, just so you know who I am as a person, and what it is that I am about, what I believe in. But mostly it's about encouraging you to be your absolute very best. And with that, for this video, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. This is Clayton bringing it to you, Holmes. Peace. I love you. God bless you. Be your best.